the Chase Thomas Podcast, for people who have nothing but time to kill.
6 against the spread. So Zeus did get his home dog of the week. He didn't pick the Duke Blue Devils. That was definitely the pick right there. But the Indiana Hoosiers, they covered that big spread. So Zeus is 1-0 on the season.
Okay. I like it. Matt Green, where are we going first?
We are going to our college game day, game of the week, game of the season, like we just alluded to. Texas Longhorns. This was a doozy last year. Go on the road. Alabama Crimson Tide are a 7-point favorite at home. How do you see this game going?
I've gone back.
What are you most excited about for this game?
What am I most excited about? I want to see, I think people have kind of already started changing their perspective based on Bama blowing out Middle Tennessee and Rice and JT Daniels giving Texas some problems. Milroe, I'm excited to see what he looks like against this Texas front. I'm excited to see what a full, fingers crossed, game of Quinn Ewers versus this Bama defense looks like. I think there's just so many different things. Like, Bama didn't turn the ball over last week. I wonder if that continues this week. Milroe led Bama in rushing last week. Is that something that continues? Are they banking on Milroe being a do-it-all kind of guy? Can he take that kind of beating in a physical game like Texas? Ewers last year before he went out, 9-12, as we alluded to this offseason. How does that game go and how does that change the season? Xavier Worthy was awesome. There's more talent. Your guy, A.D. Mitchell, in there. There's just a lot of dudes on this Texas offense surrounding Quinn Ewers. And C.J. Baxter, big-time recruit. I'm very curious to see what he looks like. I mean, Texas has got the better wideout to scarier playmakers. They're deeper in a lot of areas. I'm curious. Last year, 12 penalties for Alabama in that game. It was kind of a mess. They were really, really lucky to get out of there with a win even after Quinn Ewers was knocked out. The thing I'm most interested in is it kind of goes back to the Dabo and Clemson thing. They just don't lose at home very much. So as excited as I am about this game, if you're a Texas fan, you're like, man, I wish we got this one at home this year. And last year was the one at Alabama. Because, look, 104-8. That is Nick Saban's record at Bryant-Denny as Alabama's head coach. And those 8 defeats
Not bad.
that he has, I found this online. His 8 defeats, grand total of 37 points or 4.6 points per loss. So when he does lose at home, it's very, very close. And they don't happen often, Matt Green. So my biggest thing, the thing that I'm most curious and what I hope happens is I want to see what Bama looks like if they're in a hole. I want to see what Milroe looks like if they go down 17-10, 17-3. If they have a couple turnovers, if they get caught up in a mess and Texas punches them in the face right out of the gate here, I want to see how this Alabama team responds. I want to see how this offense responds. I want to see what Tommy Rees and Milroe and company look like. What do the wide receivers look like when they have to pass the ball, when they're taken out of their game plan? I want to see more than anything Bama on the ropes. And that's what I'm looking for, is what I'm hoping is. I don't know if that means that Bama loses, but I just want to see Bama in a hole more than anything. I want to see what that looks like for them.
Yeah, I agree. And I'm glad you said when they have to pass, because that's the one thing. Well, for one, we don't learn hardly anything from these cupcake games, but just taking the Middle Tennessee State game at face value, this joyless murder ball that they're going to play, it's they had 200 yards rushing on Middle Tennessee, 5 yards a carry. Jalen Milroe was the leading rusher, 7 carries for 48 yards. That wasn't the joyless murder ball. One of those is a botched snap that this guy's just the best athlete on the field and he just ran for 25, 30 yards or whatever. Jace McClellan was 10 for 39. Roydell Williams, 7 for 36. That's fine, but this is MTSU. You're supposed to be joyless murder ball, mowing these teams down, run blocking, road graders or whatever, right? So that's the one thing I kind of take. Texas has a pretty good run defense. I mean, I think they're going to have a pretty good run defense this year.
Not just pretty good. They only allowed 1 yard per carry last week against Rice.
For sure. It's still Rice. So, I mean, it's hard to know. But yeah, I think they're definitely going to be one of the better run defenses. So
Bama's going to have to pass.
And I think if it becomes a shootout, because you said, what, eight home losses?
Yes.
Right off the top of my head, I'm thinking of 3 Heisman Trophy winners that did it. It's like Cam Newton, Johnny Manziel, Joe Burrow.
Yeah.
Like, that's what it takes. Quinn Ewers, like, is Quinn Ewers our Heisman Trophy winner in 2023? Like, is he that guy? Like, is he put his team on his back? Like, and just have his Joe Burrow
Maybe
kind
Xavier
of
Worthy
moment?
has like a 200+ yard game, like a Marvin Harrison type game for them.
For sure. And with Xavier Worthy and A.D. Mitchell and
Jordan
Isaiah
Whittington.
Nair, like, I've just heard so much hype about this Alabama defense that, like, I really don't think they have the guys to just match up in the secondary with Texas's wide receivers. Like, I don't know. Like, I just saw these two teams play a year ago, and I know blanking on Battle. Jordan Battle is a starter from that team that's gone. Like, Caleb Downs, he could be a potential superstar, but this guy is playing essentially his first college game against Texas. Like, whatever, Middle Tennessee State counted, you got on the field, but this is going to be a completely different level of football. So this guy, I guarantee Steve Sarkisian is going to do something to fool a true freshman safety at some point in the game. You know, like, you honestly can't convince me that Texas hasn't just been preparing for Alabama the entire offseason. Like, who do we play? Rice? Like, that's just another scrimmage on our way to the Alabama game. So I think Texas has obviously had this game circled. Sarkisian is one of the best offensive minds in college football. Like, and just on top of the talent that this offense has, like, I think I have to take Texas in this one. I think last year, like you said, like, they would be nice if this was the year they got Alabama at home. I think last year was a confidence builder. I think last year showed, like, we can play with these guys, and I think they're better than they were a year ago. And I think the number one story out of this weekend is going to be Texas is back. Whether they are or not, that's going to be the story.
Are you ready to make our picks here?
Yeah, man, that's it. That's my Texas pick. I'm on the board.
Hold on, you're doing it.
Yeah, they're beating Alabama. They're going into Bryant-Denny. I don't know. I'm not calling my shot that Ewers is another Heisman Trophy winner, but I just think this offense is too much. I think this is going to become a shootout, and Alabama does not have the offensive weapons, the firepower. And I think if Jalen Milroe's he looked really good throwing the ball, but if he's having to throw the ball a lot, there's going to be some turnovers. And I think this Texas offense is just, I think they're just better.
I'm not there.
Ooh.
I don't want to be right here. I want to see Alabama go down here.
You're predicting the 8-4, right? That they're firing Saban. It's got to start somewhere, right? Or Saban's retiring.
I want to see it happen. I don't think it's going to happen here. It's not this Texas school that beats Alabama. It's one they'll play in a couple weeks.
So what is
Alabama
it?
Crimson Tide.
Do you think your opinion was changed by week 1?
I think I didn't like what I saw from Texas. Still a little too clunky for me. I don't like the history of Bama at home. Like, that kind of scares me. Like you said, like, it takes that Heisman type. I just don't know if Quinn Ewers is that guy. Like, I don't know if we're going to see that version of him in this game really step up. I think about the TCU game last year, where that was a big moment for Quinn Ewers and company, and they really went into a shell. That was not a good look for Texas against TCU. And you're like, well, that was TCU. They were in the CFP. Well, yeah, that's what we're looking at here. Bama is a CFP contender. Like, this is one of those kind of moments. I'm just not there. I can't do it yet. I think Bama and Texas are going to both fall in the mud. I think this offense looks a lot more human, a lot more limited than what we saw against Middle Tennessee State last week. I think it's going to be close. I just don't think Texas ultimately pulls it out. And I think it might be a really dumb ending where Texas just fumbles it away or something crazy in a very Texas-like way. I'm going to say Alabama beats Texas 27-23.
27. Okay, so you're taking Texas with the points.
Yes.
Okay. I know. Texas is going to win outright, sir.
Where are we going next?
Next, at noon on Saturday, we got the Fighting Irish going on the road. We got a home dog, the NC State Wolfpack, 7.5-point dog at home. How do you see this game going?
Notre Dame's legit, and I think people need to understand that like Notre Dame's coming, and a lot of the Southeastern Conference fans are not going to like this. But Notre Dame is. I can't wait for Notre Dame USC because right now I've got that Notre Dame over USC pick locked and loaded, ready for this, because I think Sam Hartman's legit, best quarterback they've had in South Bend in a really long time.